All right, for more on this conversation, we're now joined by ANC Greater Johannesburg Secretary, Sasabona Manganye. Sasabona, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Good evening, and good evening to also your viewers at home.
We want to get to the specifics of the loan in a moment, but the broad sense coming from ActionSA, maybe we'll talk about the views coming from the Patriotic Alliance as well, is that the ANC, but not just the ANC, in particular the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, who is also the premier, Panyaza Lesufi, has deliberately weakened organizational and delivery mechanism in the city of Johannesburg by putting in a puppet mayor.
Look, firstly, is that those are serious and false accusations against our own provincial chairperson. The issue of the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, it's a matter that, we have engaged it at a level of the region. So at the level of the province, they have engaged in terms of the coalition discussion, but at the level of the region, that is where we engaged in terms of who should be the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, that we will all, as the coalition partners, support. And that process, I don't know why did the ActionSA choose to isolate the provincial chairperson and make it an individual issue, when it is a collective issue that is driven at our level as the regional leadership, working with other partners within the coalition.
Yeah. But Sasawala, do you guys still have confidence in Thapelo Amad? I mean, when you yourself are taken aback, for example, by the interview he did around this 9.5 billion rands loan, I mean, Dada Morero himself saying he's not aware of this loan. 1, 2, it would be irresponsible borrowing, and there's no justification really for going on and getting this loan. Are you as a region still confident in the capabilities of this man?
Look, it is very interesting that we want to reduce an example that the mayor has made into a topical issue and even deviate the reason why the mayor was in the studio and what are the issues that he was meant to clarify. Because even when he mentioned the issue of the loan, he mentioned it as an example. It might have been a bad example, but that cannot make him a bad mayor. The city have already clarified the context in which the mayor have raised that particular issue. And it is correct, even for the regional chair to say, I don't know about it. There is nothing shocking about it, because the mayor himself, he indicated that it was just an engagement that he was having, and there was this kind of a commitment, which it is intended for 1, 2, 3, 4. So he knows for a fact that when you deal with issues of that nature, there are processes that must be followed and triggered by the administration, the administrators, and the final arbiter into those kind of issues. If there is a need for a loan, for an example, it cannot be the mayor or the mayoral committee that makes a determination of whether that loan must happen or not. Is the council itself. Council must take that resolution in terms of MFMA. So the mayor was just giving an example, and I think the city have clarified this matter better. I don't think
it's how you are couching it now. You're saying it's an example, but Sasabona, you're not going to pull a fast one.
You must listen to the interview.
The gentleman said, "I come from a meeting now where I was meeting a prospect." I wasn't making an example. So, for example, I would go into a meeting. He says, "I come from a meeting now where I was meeting a prospect that could possibly give the city a loan of 9.5 billion rands. You yourself, you're saying, oh, no, we need to get clarity, because We have questions that need answers. That's what Dada Morero says. Because when he also watched that interview, he got the same sense that everybody got, that this man was engaged in getting a loan.
Yes, Thabo, the regional chair, when was asked about the matter was not yet clarified. The city clarified the matter. As we speak, me and you now, the city have issued a statement to clarify the matter. And I'm saying, let us not use a matter that the mayor, I'm still emphasizing, utilized it as an example. And where we are sitting as the ANC, we do not believe that with the work that we have done so far, we will require a loan, because we have done whatever it takes to stabilize the finances of the city through, activating, revenue collection measures that we have implemented as the government of local unity.
Yes.
So we believe that we are stabilizing. We are not even budgeting the same way the GA used to, where they will, budget in a reckless manner that have put the city's finances at a serious, at a compromising position. So I'm saying,
but don't you think then, therefore, if there was cohesion and coordination in this particular executive, the mayor would know that?
The mayor knows. It is the mayor who have given the MMC of Finance that mandate to stabilize the finances of the ECT and improve revenue collection. It was the executive mayor. Why will he not know when it is him who gave that mandate?
But why make examples about loans when you know that what we are working on as a team is to improve revenue collection? There is no space or conversation there about getting a loan to improve service delivery and get smart cities and smart cameras.
Tibos, the city have clarified the remarks of the mayor around the issue of the loan, and I think we should take, clarity that...
I'm taking that clarity, but I'm just taking it further. I'm saying to you, what the other issue that is coming up is that there is very little cohesion and coordination. The ANC and its deployees have a particular understanding of what needs to be happening in the city, while the executive mayor has a different idea.
So let me explain this to you. When you are a leader of a city like Johannesburg, there will be a number of stakeholders that seeks to meet with you. Those stakeholders will, of course, make different suggestions and all those things. That is why I'm saying, for me, the only thing that I can reflect on is that the mayor gave an example that I think he shouldn't have chose such, on the basis that even if there was a need for loan, there is a process that must be undertaken. So as a result, I'm saying, I do not think it will make sense to put our focus on an example that has been given by the mayor, which the mayor further clarified through a statement. What we should be focusing on, I thought you were going to ask me a question to say, what have you done in these 2 months since you were in office to stabilize the city that was in the brink of collapse under the DA administration, working with the same ActionSA, which they themselves were not even happy about the same DA administration?
No, I'm coming to the questions of stability next, because the Patriotic Alliance leader, coalition partner with you guys, Gayton McKenzie, tweeted the very same mayor saying, no, this thing is embarrassing, and we should do everything possible to fix this. But he even said, as far as he's concerned, he's made submissions to really get this mayor to resign, or at least part ways with the coalition, and you could possibly be losing the city of Johannesburg, which speaks to questions of instability. Yeah,
look, I mean, it will be regrettable for the city to time and again every month or two to be electing a new mayor. However, I think we will engage the Patriotic Alliance within our coalition management team on the basis that I think they are reacting on a media clip that focuses on a matter that had nothing to do with the interview itself. And I'm saying that we will not allow the good work that has been done so far to stabilize the finances of the city, to ensure that we address the issues of water shortages, to ensure that we get the city cleaned, a number of key elements that we have implemented to defocus us on the basis of the mayor making an example that might not be acceptable, and therefore constitute the whole administration as an administration that must be collapsed. I don't think we will play to that gallery.
So how would you explain, for example, you had to take the man of the cloth the other day to go on social media and complain about rubbish that is not being picked up at the cathedral before the city moved into action. So what exactly are you doing in the 3 months that you've been in?
Yeah, so there are a number of rubbishes that has been laying in different areas within the city of Johannesburg, which was not collected on the basis that the DA administration was failing to pay for the fleet that must collect that rubbish. There's been a number of rubbish all over the city, which the DA administration failed to collect, and that was part of that rubbish that was not collected. And we were, of course, the city was alerted through those videos that were on social media. But the work that is done by the new administration is the work that will ensure that we have the city that is very clean. There are a number of programs that have been introduced. We are still working under the budget that has been passed by the DA administration. We have adjusted that budget so that it can focus on the key service delivery issues, including to clean the city. So I'm saying that you need to understand the limitations in which we operate from, because our major focus when we took over was to stabilize the finances of the city, because without that you could not pay service providers. At least now we are paying service providers. The work is being done.
So the Premier said something before you took over, when there was still this back and forth contestation between the city of Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni. He says Ekurhuleni and the city of Johannesburg, I think, are the two municipalities that he cited that were at least 2 billion in the red. What is the situation now in terms of the finances of the city?
So far, with the report we have, the city is doing well in terms of its efforts. Remember, the first thing that we did when we did budget adjustment, we ensured that we cut about 6 billion that was not properly budgeted by the DA administration, which to a certain extent it assisted us to stabilize the finances of the city. We have improved how the revenue collection is happening in the city. For the city to do well, you need to collect at least a minimum of about 4 billion per month, and the administration so far is doing very well. Of course, they are still working on the last 2 months collection rate, which we believe that is going to look very well. Moving forward from May to going forward, we should have stabilized the finances of the city. I'm sure you are no longer hearing, service providers who are complaining about, lack of payments on the basis that the city has, challenges in terms of its finances. The Pick It Up will be employing about 1,500 through your EPWP program to ensure that we clean the city. So there are a number of initiatives that the new administration has introduced to ensure that our people feel the impact of the services that the city is rendering to them.
Now, one of the issues, while we're speaking of collection, that I definitely saw earlier on this morning from one of the journalists. Was a question being asked to the people of the city of Johannesburg around the municipal bills arriving on time or arriving at all. It seems there are challenges around the delivery of those municipal bills to the residents of the city.
So, look, of course, those are some of the historic issues which are not new. That is why we have directed the administration to ensure that there is a whole room that puts more focus on the issues of billing, because billing has been a historic problem and it needs to be sorted out. And that whole room so far is working very well, and we believe that number of billing challenges that we are faced with are going to be corrected. So those are some of the initiatives. If you put a whole room, it means you are putting focused individuals that will deal specifically in addressing the billing problem, getting to the root of the problem in terms of all those IT systems that the city is utilizing to ensure that there are correct billings. There are also programs to implement smart meters, which will assist the city to can get accurate, readings in terms of your electricity if you are not utilizing prepaid, and in terms of water, because that is one of the challenges that you'll find that they will use estimate readings without necessarily using accurate readings, and as a result, it contributes also to the inaccurate billing to the residents. So we have been very clear that part of the mandate to the executive is to address that the challenges of billing, and we believe that we should be able to win the war against this wrong billing.
Quick one, speaking of winning the war, going to take a break, but a quick one. Do you see the ANC staving off the motion of no confidence against Speaker, Mayor and Chief Whip, as it seems?
Where we are seated, anyone who deposits a motion of no confidence to a very progressive speaker who puts council into order, a speaker that is fair in council, who does not necessarily, run council in a partisan manner, a motion against the executive mayor who have so far worked very hard with his collective to stabilize the finances of the city, the executive mayor who have ensured that the city come up with programs to ensure that we deal with issues of water losses that are informed by the technical losses and especially the non-revenue water, the mayor that ensures that we working with the collective, we get your services that are very responsive to the challenges of our people. You get the street lights, you implement energy mixes. We committed ourselves even in our manifesto. There are a number of energy mix initiatives that are focused on number of areas that never had electricity for long, other energy mix initiatives that are going to assist us to get out of load shedding in the city of Johannesburg. You can't want to remove that kind of a mayor who's going to respond in such a manner.
Sasabona, let's leave it there. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on, Secretary of the ANC in the Greater Johannesburg region.